A woman walks into a mechanic and then a man asks if he could help her with something. The woman then says that that was her first day working there and asks if the owner of that place was there. The man then says that she was a very beautiful woman, but the woman says that he shouldn't talk to her like that, because she just asked him a question. He then apologizes to the woman and says he was just trying to deliver the compliment. He then asks if she wanted to speak with the owner of the place. The woman says yes, because she had discovered that the owner of that place was very rich and single. The man then says that he understood why she wanted to talk to her boss, but he says that her boss doesn't go to the mechanics much and that he only shows up there a few times a month. The woman then asks if the man had his boss's phone number, as he should have worked there a long time ago. He said he had her boss's phone number, but that he couldn't pass it on to her without his authorization. The woman then asks him to give her his boss's phone number, but he said he would check with her superiors, and he might or might not give her his boss's phone number. Sometime later, the woman was at the mechanics when she takes a tool, and with that tool, she ends up hitting the glass of a car. At that moment, the man arrives and asks what happened there. He asks if she had broken the window in that car, but she says that he broke the window. He says she was lying, but she says that if the man didn't do everything she said, she would tell his superiors. The man then says that no one would believe what she was saying and tells her to cut it out. The woman then says that they would clearly believe her, as no one would believe a person like him, while they could believe a person like her. He then says that he couldn't believe she was saying those things, but at that moment, another woman arrives and asks what happened. The woman then says that the man had been distracted and ended up breaking the car window. The other woman then asks why he did that, but he doesn't know what to say. The woman then says that the man did that, and then the man says that he got a little distracted and ended up breaking the car window. The woman then says that he didn't do that, because he was distracted, but that they could overlook it. The other woman then says that they could handle it easily, and then the woman asks if the man could help her with what she asked him for. He then says yes and asks if the employee could resolve that matter for him. She then says that she would sort it out and that he could rest easy about it. The woman then gets excited about it and tells him to hurry up. They then go into a room and the man asks what she needed his help with. The woman said it was time for her exercises and that she needed the man to tell her so she wouldn't lose track. He then asks if she really made him stop his work for that, and the woman says yes, because she needed his help. She then starts doing her exercises and then asks the man to count how many repetitions she has done. She then tells him that she was going to discuss another exercise and asks him to count the repetitions. She then starts the exercise, but soon she ends up losing her balance. However, with the man, she manages to hold her before she falls. She then tells the man not to touch her as he was just a filthy workman. He then apologizes and says he was just trying to help her with that, but she tells him never to touch her again. Sometime later, the man was with an employee and she said that she didn't want to tell the man how to live his life, but that she didn't understand why he was doing those things. The man says that he liked that woman a lot and that he wanted her to like him for who he was, not for what he had. The employee then says that he shouldn't do that, because the woman was just a gold digger and that he wouldn't like to keep the van, but the man said the woman could be a good person, he just had to give him a chance to prove it. The employee then says that her boss would end up regretting it if he kept it up, but the man says that the woman was very beautiful and that he would insist a little more. The employee agrees that the woman was very beautiful, but says he would regret it. The man then says that he would not regret it and that he had an idea for him to approach her. Sometime later, the man is fixing a motorcycle when the woman arrives and throws her shorts at him. He then asks what was going on there. The woman then said that she couldn't believe the man had gone through her things and taken one of her clothes. The man then says that he didn't do it and that he was the one who threw it at him, but the woman says that he was lying and that she would start screaming to let everyone know about it. The man then asks her not to do that, as they were full of customers at that time. She then said she wouldn't do it if the man did something she wanted. He then asked her what she wanted and says he would no longer count her workouts. She said it wasn't what she wanted, because what she wanted was the phone number of the owner of that place. The man then apologizes to the woman and says he lied earlier when he said he had her boss's number. He said he had only done it to get her attention. She then takes his clothes back and tells him he was useless. Sometime later, the man goes up to the woman and says he had a present for her. She, then, is surprised by that and asks what it would be. He said he had bought her some flowers, but the woman says she didn't want that and then throws the flowers the man bought her on the floor. The man then asks her why she did that, but she says that she wasn't the kind of woman she would get that kind of flower from anyone. The man then says that if she didn't like the present, she should just return the present, but the woman says that she wouldn't waste time with those matters and tells him to get away from her. The man then says that he didn't understand why she was doing those things, because all he wanted was an opportunity for him to get to know her better, but that she was treating him very badly. She then says that she would give the man an opportunity, but that he would have to buy her something very expensive to eat or take her to a very expensive restaurant. The man then tells her not to worry about it, as he would soon bring her something very tasty to eat. He then tells her to wait for him there, that he would be back soon, but the woman says that she was not confident about that. Later, he returns with some bags and says that he had bought her something very tasty to eat. He then tells her that he had gone to the best restaurant in that neighborhood and bought the best snack they had for sale. The woman then starts asking the man what he had bought and if it was something very expensive. The man then tells her to stay calm, because what he had bought was something very tasty and that she would certainly like it. The man then hands his lunch to the woman, but when she sees it, she starts laughing. She said she couldn't believe the man had bought it for her and he still thought she would like that sort of thing. The man then asks the woman to give what he had bought a chance, because if she tasted it, she would really like it. The woman then tells the man that she wouldn't taste it, as she wasn't the type of woman who ate that kind of stuff. She says she was a very chic, elegant woman who ate high-end things and then tells the man to take what he had bought and eat it himself. The man then tells the woman that he didn't understand why she was saying those things, because that snack had already been made by very hard-working people. He then says that it was fine and that he was going to eat those snacks himself. The woman then tells him never to buy her that kind of thing again and that if he wants something with her, he should buy her something very expensive and elegant. Discouraged, the man says that he already understood how the woman really was and that next time he would buy her something very elegant. The woman then says that she knew the man couldn't buy her that kind of thing, but that she knew who could. She said the man could give her his boss's number so they could hang out together. The man then says that she just wanted to meet the owner of it all and says that he would not give him the phone, because he would make the owner of that company go there. The woman then is very happy with that and says that now she would make the owner of the company fall in love with her. Sometime later, the man calls for his employee. She then goes to him, asks why her boss is hiding there. He says he was hiding because he didn't want the woman to see him in the company. She then tells her boss to give up on the woman as all he would get from her is trouble. The man then says that he had already given up on the woman, but that now he needed to teach her a lesson. He then says he needed his employee's help and then she says she would help with whatever he needed. The man says he had an idea and that he needed his employee to take the woman to the front of the company and that at that moment, he would show up with his car. The employee then agrees with that and goes after the woman. Sometime later, the woman goes to the employee and asks what she wanted. The employee says that the woman wanted so much to meet the owner of the company and that he had just arrived at the place. This makes the woman very excited and she asks if that car really belonged to the owner of the company. The employee says yes, and that the owner of the company was already getting out of it. At that moment, the man gets out of the car and goes to them. He greets the two and then the woman says that he was not the owner of the company, but the worker who worked there. The employee says that she was mistaken, as that was actually the owner of the company. The man then says that the employee was right and that he was the owner of that company. The woman still doesn't believe it and says they were playing a joke on her. The man then says that it wasn't a joke and that he really was the owner of that company. The woman then asks why the man was wearing those clothes, since he supposedly owned the company. He says that the woman was just starting there, so she didn't know that, but that he went once a week to his company to do what he always did, which was to fix cars. He said that he had built his company on his own doing that and that he wasn't going to stop now that he was very rich. The woman then says that she finally understood what was going on there, but asks the man not to take what she had said to him seriously, because it was all just a joke. The man then says that he didn't consider it a joke for one person to belittle another and even belittle the food that he had brought for the other person to eat. The woman then tells him he won't take what happened there right, because it was just a joke. She understands that for the man they should go out together for something to eat. The man starts laughing and says that he needed to change his glasses to get a good look at her face, because he had a good answer to give. The woman then says that she knew the man he would want to date her, but the man says that he would never date a person like her. He says the woman was just another gold digger and he would never go out with her. He then tells the woman to get her things and get out of there, as she was fired. The woman then tells him to calm down, as she was there a little while ago, but the man says that she would not calm down and that when he returned, she should not be there. The woman then says that unfortunately, she was unlucky that time, but that she would not give up and would keep trying.